Tomorrow night, the Golden State Warriors will try and tie up the series against the Toronto Raptors without star player Kevin Durant, who suffered an Achilles injury in Game 5. Joining us for more is sports medicine physician Dr. Ryan Eardley. Welcome to Your Morning.
Hi, Anne-Marie. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
I can't wait to hear your assessment. So we've watched, I think everybody has watched the footage of Kevin Durant going down. I want to play that for our viewers now because I'm interested to know what you see, especially in the slow mode version of the footage. So we see him stumble and then we see him sit. But when you take a close look, so here he goes. You see him hop. He sits. Ben and I both commented you wouldn't know it from his face, but take a look there. What do you see when you see that happen?
Right. So, right off the bat, it does look like a serious injury. You can see that Kevin Durant's leg is fully extended at his knee and his heel's down on the ground. And unfortunately, that's a classic mechanism for an Achilles injury. You see the snap as well. What we don't know is whether or not it's a partial or a complete tear.
So he had the MRI on Tuesday in New York. We're still waiting to hear the results of that. If it is a complete Achilles tear, what does the recovery process look like?
Right. Unfortunately, it's extensive. For a professional athlete of his caliber, it's a serious injury. Most likely, what that would involve is surgery, and they would repair his tendon, and then he'd be immobilized in a cast or a splint of some kind for a period of weeks. And then begins the extensive rehab process, and that involves stretching, regaining his range of motion, strengthening, and then getting him back on the court to be the player that he needs to be. Unfortunately, though, this whole process takes minimum 6 months, closer to a year for a player of his caliber to get to that level.
He was being called the sacrificial lamb, not just because he was out for the series, but, players are taking a look at somebody like Kevin Durant and what this means for his future. He is a free agent. Free agency begins in about 3 weeks from now. How big a risk is it for teams to sign up someone like Kevin Durant, knowing he's got an injury like this? And I want to remind our viewers of some stats. Previous players who have suffered this kind of an injury rarely come back at peak performance.
It's true. Now, we don't have all the information. That's part of the problem. We don't know if it's a complete or a partial. But assuming it's a complete rupture, the return to play rate is around 60 to 80%. So not all athletes at his caliber get back to that level. And it is an extensive rehabilitation process. It usually takes a year for people to get back to that point. So for any team that's looking at his contract, that's going to be something they're going to have to think about, whether or not they want to take him on and have him rehab with them.
Let's give our viewers a reminder of some of the players who have also suffered this similar type of injury. You had Kobe Bryant, Rudy Gay, DeMarcus Cousins, each of them taking a year or more just for recovery. And then to come back maybe at not full steam. This is potentially, definitely career-altering for a player like Kevin Durant.
Yes, unfortunately, if it is a complete rupture, it's a very serious injury.
All right, good to have you here today. Explain some more of that for us. Thanks, Doctor.
Oh, no problem.
All right, and a reminder, you can watch Game 6 of the NBA Finals tomorrow night on TSN.